This is the Scarlet Vault. Stored away here in the rust-red rooms are items too powerful, too dangerous to exist. You may consider me the custodian and protector of this abominable museum of terrors. Every item stored here is drenched in horror. Every item a weapon in the wrong hands, and every item has a story. Perhaps you would like to hear one?
Ah, there you are. Before we get started, I'm afraid I have some bad news. The time we've been spending together has been noted, and the powers that be have decided that tonight will be the last time you shall be allowed to visit here. I will appeal, of course, but I rather think we should assume tonight's tale will be the last, so I want to make it, if not a good one, a suitably final one. Here's tonight's item. An ancient Egyptian amulet. Connected to the Princess Nubia. Do you remember her from an earlier tale? Pretty, isn't it? But this story is not about Nubia. It's not really even about this amulet. I've been putting this one off, but it's time, I think, to tell you the tale of the young thief. The old man gazed into the depths of the magic mirror with sightless eyes. Not seeing the terrible face that appeared in the reflection was a mercy. Then his reflection spoke to him, with a voice plucked from hell.
Why do you disturb us?
I have good news, my friend.
What news do you speak of?
I have acquired the amulet you're so keen to get your claws on. At great cost to myself, so naturally I will expect a great reward for my service.
You shall have it. Our mortal agent will visit you in 2 days to collect the amulet.
Will he now?
You have done well, Algernon Gervais.
London, October 2002. The young thief waiting in the cold darkness consulted his watch. Time was always against him. But the agreed time to act was just a few seconds away. He had considered making his move earlier, but experience had taught him to follow instructions to the letter, and all the predictions foretold that Algernon Gervais would fall asleep at 1:07 a.m, in his armchair, in his study, probably clutching a bottle of whiskey. Sleep well, Mr. Gervais, the young thief thought. Tomorrow your infamous collection of occult artifacts will be 1 item short. Using a skeleton key, he let himself into the old man's townhouse via the back door, deliberately avoiding the alarms at the front. Once inside, he quietly closed the door behind him and immediately moved from the darkened pantry through to the living room. Then, skillfully avoiding the invisible detection beam that swept across the steps, he crept up 2 flights of stairs past the bedrooms and made his way towards the converted attic. He paused again before opening the heavy door. If he was going to get caught in the act, this is the place where it would be. He didn't fear getting caught, or even Gervais himself. In fact, he found the old man revolting rather than scary. But the blind old devil was coming to understand far more about the thief's employers than they wanted. Tonight's theft had to be untraceable to them. Gently opening the door with another skeleton key, the thief was canny enough to deactivate a final hidden sensor just before it triggered. Once inside, he quickly studied Gervais's collection of books, bones and weapons, searching for the required item. It was quite the Museum of Terrors, and a less experienced person might have been spooked by the exhibits, cast as they were mainly in shadow, apart from the slight illumination from the pale moonlight shining down from the tiny skylight overhead. There it was, an amulet, a cross with a loop at the top of a chain, an ankh, or a key to life. An ancient Egyptian artifact, once the property of the Princess Nubia. The amulet was probably worth nearly £250,000, but the thief and his employers were not interested in it for its monetary value. He picked it up delicately and was about to slip it inside his pocket when the door to the attic room creaked open, and silhouetted in the frame was the figure of a young woman. "What do you think you're doing?" She was entirely unafraid of this intruder. He squinted to try and get a better look at her. Aged 19, possibly, red hair, slim and gloomily beautiful, wearing what might have been only a baggy Nightmare on Elm Street t-shirt as nightwear. He was lost for words momentarily. "Would you believe me if I told you I was lost?" "We're all lost," she said, admiring his chutzpah but not wanting it to show. "How did you get past the alarms?" "With consummate ease." "I wasn't expecting you, however." "Our predictions were that Mr. Gervais was alone in the house tonight." "I wish he was, but here I am." "Well, aren't you going to run for it before I scream or call the police?" "I think if you were going to do either of those things, you would have already." "Pretty smart for a petty thief, aren't you?" "Is that all you think I am?" He shouldn't have said that. "What is it you want in here exactly? One of these disgusting skeletons? Or a few of his dirty books?" He really should have left by now, but something about the young woman made him want to stay and talk with her for as long as possible. He certainly should not have revealed that he had been sent for just this amulet, in fact. He's got big plans for that. I heard him talking to someone. At first I thought he was going to give it to me, as a present. It'd look good on you. Thanks. Are you hitting on me? Maybe. Who are you exactly? His lover? Daughter? Ah, that's a relief, but unexpected. We didn't know he had a... The sound of heavy footsteps began to grow louder. Gervais himself had been woken by the activity and was coming to investigate.
"What's going on, Rebecca? Is someone looting my collection again? By God, if I catch him, I'll wring his bloody neck."
The young thief started, but the girl, Rebecca, held up her hand, signalling him to pause. "It's all right, Dad," she called down to him. "It's only me." The intruder raised an eyebrow. Why was she helping him like this?
"What on earth is going on?"
"I thought I heard a noise, that's all." She smiled at the young thief cheekily as she shut the door, sealing him in and Gervais out. Slipping the amulet into his pocket, the young thief padded to the door and listened to the conversation going on behind it.
"What have I told you about going up to the attic?"
"I know, Dad, but I thought I heard something."
"You're never to go in there, do you understand? While you live in my house, you follow my rules, capiche?"
"Yes, Dad, but like I said, I thought I heard something."
"Perhaps I should check it out."
"There's no one there, Dad. Go back to sleep."
"Don't tell me what to do, Rebecca. Don't ever tell me what to do."
There followed the wet, hollow sound of a slap. Then the noise of Rebecca running down the stairs, trying not to cry. As he understood what had happened, the young thief clenched his fists involuntarily. Outside the room, Gervais put a hand on the doorknob.
"I swear, if there's someone in there, I'll..."
He flung open the door, poked his head inside, and listened. The room was quiet, empty. The young thief had vanished. Gervais huffed, and without noticing the missing amulet, slammed the door and stormed off back to bed. Two days later, outside the Bakerloo Underground station, Rebecca was returning from her job at the local library when she literally bumped into the young thief. "Fancy meeting you here," he grinned at her. But their meeting was not accidental. He had sought her out, followed her home. As before, she made a point of not showing surprise. He liked that about her. "How did you get away without him catching you?" "Well, that would be telling. There's no way you could have hidden, and no other way in or out of that room." "How did you do it?" He would have liked to have told her, but was strictly forbidden from giving away trade secrets. But then he was also forbidden from returning to the scene of a crime. "You're magic, aren't you? Dad's told me about you people." "You don't really believe in magic, do you?" Oh, how he wanted to tell her everything. Show her it was real. "What do you want? I do realize you've been following me. Did you want to talk, or..." "I wanted to know why you didn't give me away." "Is that all?" "No, I wanted to make sure you were All right. I heard what happened. Why are you living with him? He's a monster, you must know that. She looked down at the pavement. I don't have much choice. I was kicked out of our house when Mum got put in hospital. Beggars can't be choosers. I'd like to have nothing to do with him, but I've got no money, nowhere else to live. Is that why you helped me? Because you hoped I'd cut you in on the proceeds? No, that's not why I helped you. And there won't be any proceeds, will there? You didn't steal that amulet for money, did you? It was useless lying. It's dangerous. Dark forces are gathering around it. Algernon Gervais can't be trusted with it. No one can. That's why I was sent to retrieve it. Rebecca rubbed the back of her neck. It's all true, then. His little rants about the people who collect the same things he does. You work for them? Yes. Are you working for them now? What do you mean? Why are we still talking? I told you I wanted to make sure you were... The rest of the sentence was cut off as she pressed against him and kissed him firmly on the lips. He was shocked initially, but responded in kind with great passion. They remained locked in a tight embrace, practically eating each other's faces, as commuters tutted, sighed, and walked around them. But suddenly he broke away from her. What time is it? She laughed. Does it matter? I'm so sorry, he apologized, pushing her further away. I have to go. What do you mean? He ran into the crowd and disappeared. Again. Algernon Gervais was furious upon discovering that the amulet was missing.
How could this have happened? Why now? Who the bloody hell are these people, and why do they think they can get away with this?
Rebecca tried to calm him down by offering a drink.
No, I don't want a drink. Were you in on this, Rebecca? The theft must have happened the other night, when you thought there was an intruder. Yes, it must have been then.
She paused for a moment, considering telling him everything. What did she owe the young thief who had stirred such passion in her before running away without explanation? He sensed her prevarication.
If you know more about this than you're telling me, Rebecca, I swear I'll...
He raised his fist.
Hello? Are you there? Can you hear me?
We did not wish to speak with you again.
The feeling's mutual. But there has been a complication.
You have lost the amulet.
Not lost, no. It was stolen. By our common enemy.
You disappoint us.
I'll get it back, I promise. And perhaps I can offer you something else as well. Or someone.
She was restocking the paranormal romance section of the library with returned books when he tapped her on the shoulder. He noticed the makeup covering her black eye at once, but to his eternal shame didn't mention it. Didn't ask. Rebecca, She pulled him into an alcove. You've got a bloody cheek. What happened to you? Where did you go? What did I do that was so wrong? He touched her arm. I know leaving you like that must have given you the wrong impression, but I will explain everything. If you'll listen? She seemed to consider it for a moment. Sure. As long as you promise not to disappear on me again. I can only be here for 20 more minutes. He spoke cautiously, worried he might anger her, but he had to state the facts. Meet me outside in 5. I'll tell the boss I've got a headache or something so I can leave early. He grinned. Very well. It's a date. Come on, she said, slipping her arm in his. There's a park round the corner. We'll have some privacy. Would you like to continue what we started at Bakerloo? You'll be lucky. He realised he had pushed too far too quickly. They walked towards the park, Rebecca strangely silent. He took that as a prompt to speak. I know what I'm about to say is hard to believe, Rebecca, but it is the truth. I shouldn't tell you any of it, but I feel compelled. I don't want to say that I love you because that would be ridiculous, but I do feel some incredible pull towards you. And I would have loved to have continued kissing you back at the station, but you must understand that I can only ever exist for a few brief moments in this realm. She stopped, confused by only one part of what he had said. Realm? What do you mean, realm? You may have noticed, he said slowly, that I have an odd manner of speech and dress. I'm not exactly a regular 21st century guy. I was born here, but I don't live in your world. That doesn't seem to surprise you. It doesn't. Not really. I have to keep this short. Time is against me. I work for an organization that takes powerful and dangerous items into safekeeping. We put them in a place called the Scarlet Vault. He suddenly realized that they were totally alone now. He had been led, quite deliberately, into a quiet alleyway by the side of the park. You don't have to explain any further. It isn't necessary. She grabbed his right hand and looked him in the eyes. He melted in her gaze. Then she snapped a handcuff onto his wrist. What are you doing? He asked as she joined them together. When you showed up again, I called Dad and told him you were back. He's on his way now with some friends of his. You're in deep trouble. The young thief's blood ran cold. You told him about me? You ran out on me, she answered, but she wouldn't look at him. Couldn't. Rebecca, he tried to keep the tremble, the crushing disappointment from his voice. You have to let me out of these handcuffs. If I'm tethered to this reality in 2 minutes' time, You'll what? Turn into a pumpkin? Do you think I'm stupid? You used me to get that amulet, to get at my father, didn't you? No. I was starting to get feelings for you, and I didn't leave you voluntarily, Rebecca. As I said, my time here is limited. I'm not really here, not even now. What you see here is a temporary form spun up for me to use in this realm. We can do this, appear and disappear, anywhere we need to retrieve an item. But we can only project ourselves for a limited time, until the black candle burns out. A car screeched into the alley, and the driver and passenger jumped out, wielding baseball bats. 2 of Gervais's criminal associates, no doubt. An arranged kidnapping? But Gervais would never get his hands on the young thief. Listen, when the candle burns out, the body here evaporates. And if I'm not back in my real body before then, the spirit has nowhere to go. I have to return to myself before that happens, or I'll be stateless, formless. Look, I know that this is hard to understand. Don't patronize me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but please release me, Rebecca. I have to return now, and I can't do that while I'm physically shackled to this reality. To you. Let me go free. Please, unlock these handcuffs. I've only got a few seconds. She looked him in the eyes, sizing him up. He shook under her gaze, not fearing the nothingness which would soon evaporate him, but her judgment. He desperately wanted her to understand how he felt. I'm sorry too. She sniffed back a tear and forced his cuffed arm upwards by raising her own. Because I don't have the key. Dad kept it. He wants his precious amulet back, and didn't want to risk me letting you go. You're stuck with me. Improbably, they both laughed. I don't want you to disappear ever again, she said quietly. Somewhere else, in space and time, the flame of a candle was guttering, the wick almost fully burnt away. He kissed her. She closed her eyes to savour it, and when she opened them again, he was gone, burnt out of existence, the still locked cuff dangling from her wrist. You never even told me your name. No, he didn't, did he? The young thief never saw Rebecca again. When he eventually finished wading through a 5-dimensional hell of nothingness, incredibly he somehow found his way back to his preserved body in the Scarlet Vault. 20 years had passed by then in your world. It was now 2022. Rebecca is lost to me now. I'm not sure she would want to see me again now anyway. Too much time has passed and I feel sure she would have forgotten about me. I hope she's forgotten. I hope she was happy, wherever she is. Algernon Gervais wouldn't tell me when I demanded the answer of him, even as I lowered him, screaming, into the acid bath. Well, this is the end, beautiful friend. At least the end of these tales and our time together. This was never going to last forever, and nothing should. Enjoy your nightmares. I suppose nightmares never really do end, do they?